What is up, guys? Pie Muffin here, and we are back with another Tales of Crestoria video. Today we're going to be hopping into raids, which I didn't get to cover in my beta videos because I didn't want to replay everything, so I just kind of stopped once I hit Chapter 2. Just to give some kind of insight as to my progress right now, story-wise, I am in Chapter 4, so you can see if we back out of here. I have Chapter 4 unlocked. I've played 1, 2, and 3. I haven't played too much of the side stories. I'm just now starting the Crest side story, and I have to play through the Velvet and Farah side story. By the way, I don't know if there's another side story after Chapter 4, because like I said, I only played Chapter 1 in the beta. But Chapter 4 is the final chapter as of the launch story that we have. Obviously, it's not the final story ever, because that would make for a very short gacha game. But I assume maybe like every 2 months we might get a main story update, and then maybe in between those months we'll get a side story. So like if there's no side story after Chapter 4, maybe sometime in August we'll get a side story for a character who's somewhat relevant. Because what they've kind of done here is, well, I guess not really relevant, because Velvet's not in Chapter 2, so I guess that doesn't matter. But it's just basically, these side stories are basically a way to see what these other Tales characters are doing while the main cast is on their adventure. Because obviously, you know, stuff is going to add up. You know, Velvet could show back up back in Chapter 7 or something, and the side story will have told us what she's been up to in that time. So I think that's probably how they're going to do things, or they might do like 2 side stories, because they have to fully voice everything, and especially with the pandemic going on, I'm sure that's even harder to do right now. So like if we didn't get a main story until like October, it wouldn't really surprise me, and then so August and September, each one of those months could give us a side story, because these stories are pretty long, even after Chapter 1. So Chapter 2 only had 6 stages, whereas Chapter 1 had 16, but it was setting up the story. Chapter 3 had 9 stages of stuff to go through. So it just depends on the chat. And I don't know about Chapter 4. I don't think I've even started it yet. No, I haven't even started it yet. So there's that. I just quick little update on that. And then for the challenge missions, these ones are going to take me quite a bit to do. Just because you do need to grind up a bit. You know, you gotta get a character to level 80 for this next board reward. You gotta clear all of Chapter 1 on hard, ascend the same character 3 times, and then clear Chapter 4, and then do Crest and Velvet story on normal. So that's gonna take me a while. So these challenge missions, you know, are actually starting to become a challenge, finally. But enough about that. Let's go over to the raids, and let's talk about what raids do for you exactly. So, as you can see, it already tells you here, get items for Ascension and Arts Training. So, Ascending is where you raise your character's level cap. You can do it 5 times. So, I think SRs... Well, actually, let me check real quick. I don't want to say something that could be possibly wrong. Vague is an SR I've actually somewhat been working on. By the way, I did pull Kronos off of a PvP ticket, so I was pretty happy about that. So Vague, for example, I have ascended twice because it's easier, because he has less material. Oh, nope, we didn't want to open that. And now I'm going to be stuck here. Can I? Okay, thank you. Something's wrong with the world chat where it really doesn't work right now. So I have Vague at 60. So yeah, so Vague, if it's only 5 limit breaks, that means SRs can only go to 90. So I just wanted to make sure on that. So... And obviously SRs and SSRs are the only rarities in the game. They might add ultra rares eventually, or they might just add like an awakening for SSRs to ultra rares, but we'll have to see. But yeah. So you want to get books for the arts training to level up your arts to max level, so they do the max damage output and effects. And then Ascension, obviously, to max limit break stuff. So you have to figure out what you need to do for these. The normal ones, if you've completed probably up to Chapter 3 on normal, you can probably jump in on a normal one, no problem. Maybe even a hard one. I did a hard one, like I hosted one, because this Fire Teagle Elimination, level 2, because you need to get 3 of these orbs, and you get 1 orb per completion of the normal, so I'd have to complete 3 of the normal to get to here, and then I had to get the hard, and then when you complete the hard, you get a very hard one. And this is where you obviously get all these different medals. You get the blue medals from the hard stage, and you get the gold medals from the very hard stage. And then let's just quickly look at what's exchangeable. There is a cap as to how much you can get per, I think it's per month. I'm not really sure off the top of my head what the cap is, but you won't just be able to infinitely get stuff. And as you can see, the blue medals are mainly for SR. So if you want SR dupes for like any of these characters, you can get those. Or if you need more gels, or if you want rainbow tomes, you can get those as well. And then if you're able to do the very hard stuff, which I assume you'll probably need at least like level 80 to 100 full teams of the correct color to even be useful. But then again, you got like 20 people in there, so I'm sure you'll have some help. But game's only been out for 2 days, so you're probably going to have a hard time doing those very hard stages. But you can get these if you just want to have, because some of them have some good effects. Like, let's look at Alvin real quick. Oh, wait. I want to open up the full, is it going to let me? No, it's just going to show me here. It just shows the stats here. It doesn't, why does it show the ability? Most Memoria Stones come with, like, a special ability, so I was kind of hoping to see what they are, but I guess it's just going to show me the stats here. But yeah, so you can exchange for these. So if you're someone who wants to, I guess, feed in your Memoria Stone, so like, for example, Alvin. So if you had Raid as your selectable SSR from the start, and you want to feed in Raid's Memoria Stone that comes with it, so you get that first limit break, and then you could grab the, well, which still wouldn't be ideal because it's the wrong weapon type. Ideally, because this Alvin probably has some kind of boost to gun characters, but let's just say for the sake of this argument that they are the same, you could equip this to him and use that as a substitute. Plus, this Memoria Stone is, I assume, because it doesn't say that there's a limit here of anything, so I would assume you could just, you know, every month, you know, get a copy of this Alvin and then max limit break that. So you don't have to get the specific character's Memoria Stone all the way up. Obviously, it'd be more ideal to do that, but if you wanted a more free-to-play option, this would be something you could do. So that's pretty much about that, and now I'm just going to hop into the raid itself and show you how it works. So your BP at the top, where you can see I have 68 out of 10, that's used to help people in these raids. So you can click on any one of these as long as you have BP, and as long as the stage doesn't die as you're gonna jump in, you can pretty much help out and get that done. And then when you actually open your own one, it takes your own actual AP for that. Now the difference here is if you aid with someone, you're not getting many rewards. The person who hosts the thing gets the most rewards, and then, you know, if you help, you just get, like, a few things, possibly. But, I guess you just have to figure out what Ascension materials you need, or which arts training you need. So, obviously, doing, like, the Fire Teagle one, you'd probably get some stuff for your fire units, and then et cetera, et cetera. Since I'm working on Ascension for... Who do I want? I want to work on Lloyd right now. Because I have him limit broken to 60, but I do want to get him to 70 at some point. So we'll hop into the Orc King and see how that goes. So this is my team right now. I have been no-lifing this game since it pretty much came out. So I have my full front row is level 50s besides the Memoria Stones. And then Kronos, who I just got yesterday, is at 45. And Vague is just kind of there for right now. You know, I'll work on him eventually once time goes on and I have some downtime to work on some of my other units. But right now, I'm really just focused on these SSRs so I can get through the content, since I'm sure events will probably start either next week or the week after. We'll probably get our first limited mission or event, whatever you want to call it. So I'm really just trying to focus on that. I've talked long enough. Let's hop in. So each one of these takes 5 stamina, at least for the normal stage. By the way, it's auto on, so you'll click Request Aid, and then everyone who's able to see it on your friends guild or just the general tab can join and have their own contribution. And let's say you're worried about your team dying, you can just sit here as the turns go by, because you have a whole hour to kind of get this done. And if your team does die, you can either spend gems to revive them, or you can just sit there until the people helping on your raid actually take down the enemy. But let's do an attack or two. We'll while we're waiting for some... Oh, looks like we got 2 people in here already. So you obviously don't see them. It's just kind of like they're in their own kind of like session, but helping you do the damage. So we did our first round of damage there, so now we're going to see... and you'll see right there, his health just went down even though we weren't doing anything. So that's something that can happen as well. We're not going to waste Estelle's heal just yet, but we can use these other abilities. And this is pretty much how it goes for most of these. You know, you just... And you can see the damage on these sides. So King over there had dealt 5,000 and then 2,000 damage. And as you can see at the top, he now has a break gauge that you have to knock down. I'm not going to use Estelle's Mystic Art either just yet. Let's use Milla's just so we can break down his break gauge. There you go, break gauge is down. And obviously, I'm obviously not being smart about it, but you want to save, most of the time you want to save your Mystic Arts for the same attack because you'll do more damage. Because as your hit counter goes up, that's what matters the most. Alright, let's get Lloyd's in. There you go. So that was 80% up right there. We got him down to about... Oh, he's doing that arrow. I remember that from Zestiria with, like, the arrow attacks. Estelle is super weak in terms of output, but her heals are what make her super useful, as I've noticed over time. And she has a ridiculous amount of health for just being a healer. So yeah, it's only been like 4 minutes, and it really shouldn't take too much longer to take this guy out. Because we got 6 people in here. Let's see if it's been enough. It should have been enough time now. We have 3 minutes until we can request aid again. Okay. So next attack, Milla should get her Mystic Art up again. Oh, well, that's not good. Either this turn or next turn should be enough to take this guy out, depending on how everyone else is doing. He got his shield up, but he's definitely gonna die before that shield. Well, there you go. Like I said. And that's pretty much how it goes. You get your XP and everything. You get your affinity up, which we actually just got Vicious up to affinity 9, which is good. For those who play Tales of the Rays, it's similar to like the bond system, where at certain levels you get certain unlocks. So because I was the finder, I got these 2 things right here, and then all these other things are dependent on how much damage you do, or how much you contribute. So we got 1 Earth Tome, we got some materials here, we got 1 hard mode thing, and then another Earth Tome down here. And that's pretty much how raids work. Obviously, once you're done with the initial content and you're just looking to grind for ascensions and stuff and making your units the best they can be, raids are where you're going to be spending a lot of your time. And what's nice about it is you will spend a lot of time. You can just put it on auto battle. If you're doing normal and you're just farming endlessly, or if you're doing like aid, for example, and you just don't really care too much, let's actually aid on this hard mode one, and then that'll be it for the video. Just to kind of show what it's kind of like. So yeah, it uses 1 BP for that, which I don't know when I'm going to be out of BP. It's not going to be anytime soon, because I'm over-leveled for the content I'm currently doing story-wise. But yeah, so let's just do this. So if you just literally wanted to be here just for the rewards, or not even rewards, just for completion's sake, you can literally just sit here and let the attacks go. And let's actually request aid. I'll send some help to, you know, people on my list if they want to join. It's not like it's going to matter too much. Because as you can see, his health is really just dropping rapidly. But then that shield went up. Oh, there you go. See? We didn't even get... We got, like, what, 2 turns to contribute? We got 2 medals. To see, all I got was a very hard medal because I was there for, like, the very end of it. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much my breakdown and kind of showcase of how raids work. I don't know if they'll add more raids in the future, if this is just going to be what this is for. If they ever add any new, like if they add a way to awaken, like, SSRs to ultra rares, they might add, like, some new very hard stages. But I think for now, this is pretty much what these are used for. And then I could see the medal exchange, you know, swapping out characters at some point or adding new ones for those medals. But it'll be interesting to see either way. And that's the other thing too, is the characters who are in those the slots for the event shop. So like the Alvin we were talking about, that's full SSR artwork. So this Alvin will be a unit at some point, whether he's a free-to-play SSR or what have you. This will also be good if you want to work on any of these. So we got Alvin, Beryl, Julius, Patty, Keel, and Richter. All of these characters will probably be obtainable at some point, and then we can just use these farmable ways to work on them. You know, whether you want to add dupes for the character itself or add dupes for their Memoria Stone, that'll definitely be something to do. But that's gonna be it, guys. Let me know what you guys think of raids down below, and let me know what you guys think of the game in general down below. I'm gonna have a video out a little bit after this one talking about the issue with the power-up quests and how to get around it, because as I'm sure a lot of people will have noticed, it's up right now for Dark, Wind, and Water, but there will be a time when the reset happens for each day where it just says the time is up, and for like 6 hours you can't do them. But there is a loophole around that I will put in the video after this one. And then I'll probably make a Phantom Tower video at some point as well, even though I made one in the beta. But that's going to be it, guys. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more if you're new to the channel. Hope you're all enjoying Tales of Crestoria. It's already got over 100,000 downloads in just a couple of days, which is already passing what Tales of the Rays had for the global version in its entirety. So I think despite some issues with the game, such as the JP side having a paid guaranteed SSR banner while we still just have this one, but it looks like the global side did put up a tweet that they took down, probably because they plan to put up that paid banner, probably on like Monday or something, but they probably just didn't mean to do it yet. I think we will all get the same stuff, but it just seems like it might be a day or two late. Maybe global side wasn't ready with that banner when the game launched. They might have just been a bit behind, but I wouldn't worry too much. I think this game is going to do great. It's got great promotion. There's a lot of people playing, especially in Arena. You can see that there's a lot of people, which I'm not doing too bad myself. But yeah, that's going to be it. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time. Have a wonderful day, everyone.